we're doing. I thought it was going vegetarian at that time. So I was a vegetarian for a couple of years throughout high school. And then I actually went raw vegan for a good 9 to 12 months when, I felt great at the start. And then, it started to gradually decline towards the end, especially as someone who keeps very physically active. I just started to decline over time. So through all that experimentation with superfoods and learning about the importance of organic nutrition, and learning about, I guess, more authentic ways to support the planet through regenerative agriculture, that sort of led me back to where I started when I worked on my health condition with the naturopath. And that was, I guess, if you wanted to label it something similar to a paleo approach, but with certainly some caveats. But it was definitely, did it grow in the ground once? Did it run around once? And have they done much to it since? Lots of plants, some animal protein, some good fats, lots of colors, organic if possible. So it was, took a long time to sort of circle back to that original philosophy around nutrition, which, again, as I said, is really, really simple, and incredibly lacking in most modern day human beings.
Yeah. That's inspiring. If you don't mind me asking, what were those similar principles that you say that the naturopath taught you during that journey, during your mentorship with that person?
Yeah, I mean, it was such a lucky sort of position to be in, because I would sit in on consults and look at what people were struggling with and look at the consistencies in terms of what was lacking in their approach. And as much as it was a mental game, as well, as much as it was, there's not enough time in the day to do this, there's, too much stress in the day to do that. It was very much surrounding nutrition and those sort of high grain, high carbohydrate approaches that they thought were healthy. And maybe like it was more, a lot of these foods were sort of sneaking their way in to people's diets, convenience foods, because of a lack of time. So where that starts, it's sort of like the chicken or the egg. But I think the main fundamentals are, again, like I said, sourcing your food as organically as possible and consuming a wide variety. Because if you want a variety of microbes existing in your gastrointestinal system, for instance, then you need variety on your plate. And, if you want a full spectrum of colors and you want all the antioxidants, then you've got to eat all those different colors. And ideally you would eat them in season, because that's when they're going to be most nutrient rich, right? So it was just going back to basics. It's like, hey, did it grow in the ground once? Did it run around once? Have they done much to it since? If you look at your plate, visually, I was always taught, like, you want, 70 to 80% of the plate to be green leafy vegetables for the majority of the meals, just to continually alkalize the body in a very constantly acidic environment that we find ourselves in, and then fill the rest of the plate up with some healthier carbohydrates. So, your sweet potatoes, your carrots, your beetroots, and your tomatoes and your avocados, and some good fats there, obviously, and then some good quality animal protein. So that sort of approach really, I think, helped so many people. And during that time, I saw total transformations. I mean, back when I was health coaching, it wasn't uncommon for me to see people reverse like a 10-year IBS condition, or reverse depression or anxiety, or fix their insomnia. These were regular things. And this was before health was normal. It was like we were doing this covert sort of operation, like we were getting people healthy under the radar, So it really was quite impactful, and that drove in and really solidified my own philosophies around health and well-being, and which I obviously then went on to explore in various different mediums like film and books and on stage very much as well. So it was a pretty interesting time. But again, pulling it all back and sweeping it all away, it's just, eat organic, mostly plants, a little bit of animal protein, and really listen to your body, and you'll probably do well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm really interested to know, how did you got to, in the first time that you heard about the Czech philosophy and the Czech approach? I thought you worked as well in South Australia with a Czech practitioner or a professional.
Yeah, so I think any person who sort of delves into health and well-being will come across Paul Check at one point. And originally it was never about fitness.